Some people just have a knack for telling a good story. Barry Bernson was a fixture on Louisville television for 25 years. In fact, he spent his whole career telling good stories. Now he has a brand new book and shares some of his favorites. Sit back and listen.
After months of searching, we are proud to present tonight the 6 finalists in the Barry Bernson Lookalike Contest. The Charles Spanglers of this world all hear the sounds of different drummers.
Or next summer, Pink Flamingos.
World's greatest internal combustion engine imitator. Well, probably because that wouldn't all fit on the sign, would it? It's just one guy's journey through journalism. Harley Warwick is the very last of the mail pouch tobacco barn painters. I don't know quite how to tell you this, but you are about to see a Palomino horse named Butterscotch drive a 1962 Lincoln Continental. They're amateur actors playing Hamlet, William Shakespeare's timeless tragedy written 400 years ago.
Another hit, what say you?
So many people were asking me to somehow preserve my reminiscences of, nearly a half a century in journalism that I said, well, maybe I'll write a book someday. And so the idea sort of started taking shape. The book's called Bernson's Corner, a Reporter's Notebook, and it comes with a DVD of my 10 favorite stories in there. And it really starts when I was 5 years old and reading the announcements at the day camp I went to in New Jersey over the camp PA system. They thought that would be cute because I was 5 and I could read. So then when I was 7, I started a neighborhood newspaper. So I've really been in revenue-producing journalism for all that time, since about 1950, whatever it was, 54. When hard news breaks out, TV stations call real reporters to cover those stories, and I wasn't that. I have made my living as a feature reporter since about 1971. My hero was Charles Kuralt, CBS News on the road. And that was the kind of story I always wanted to tell. And I was fortunate, all the stations I worked for, even the ones that I anchored the news on, I insisted on being able to go out and do stories on my own. Find unusual people doing strange and bizarre and wonderful things. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Peter Suber, professional plungeon. What makes a great feature story, first of all, is a good talker. If you can find somebody who's a good talker, you can almost build a story around that individual. No, that's not really the sound of a 2-horsepower chainsaw. It's Homer Luster imitating a chainsaw. Homer, who is 26, may not be able to read or write, doesn't talk much, but he is a master of mechanical mimicry. Okay, how about an 18-wheeler pulling out of a truck stop onto the interstate? I go... The second thing a great TV feature story needs to have is some visual aspect. Show me something, don't just tell me. Show me something. These are the names of Helen Trueblood's children, Apricot Blush and Catherine Johnston, Enchanted Prince and C. White, Starbrook and John's Old Fashioned. They are the names of daffodils, more than 1,000 varieties that grow on Mrs. Trueblood's amazing hilltop.
This little white one I thought I'd lost, and I found some bulbs up by the house, and now it's got lots of bulbs. Agnes?
I look at silent movies sometimes and do not feel I am looking at old films. I feel I am looking at a now that has been captured. I still tell stories, only they're not stories that I write. My whole career has been reading and writing. No arithmetic, thank you very much. But what I do is I read stories in books that are given to me at the American Printing House for the Blind, and I narrate them for the Library of Congress National Library Service, and they go to blind people all over the country. I asked him, because we had been at his speech the night before as he lectured about the dangers of nuclear testing, is that strontium or strontium? I'm here at the printing house for 4 hours a day, 4 or 5 days a week. So Todd and I are sort of partners through the glass. When I misread something, mispronounce something, 98% of the time Todd catches it, the other 2% of the time I catch it. But he has to listen very carefully to me, and I'm sure he's sick of hearing me 4 hours a day, and produced copies The big dictionary that Todd has with him is only one of hundreds of reference books that we have here at the printing house that tells us obscure pronunciations of, say, American Indian names in South Dakota, which might differ from the ones in Minnesota. Town pronunciations are different depending on where you go in America. It's Quincy, Massachusetts, but it's Quincy, Illinois. Harold Holmes, the father of my friend Hal, was the managing editor at the News Gazette. This book that I'm in the midst of reading is by Roger Ebert, who happens to be an old friend of mine. Roger Ebert and I were office mates at WMAQ in Chicago. I was a reporter there when he was the movie critic there. He has since had cancer surgery, has lost his voice, and so I literally can be the voice of my old buddy Roger Ebert. And I've been in touch with him and told him that I was thrilled to be his voice and that I hope I did him justice. This was one of the great thrills, to actually see a book I had written in print with covers and an ISBN number on the back. You know, it's official. I'm an author. You know, I've been a book narrator, I've been a reporter, a feature reporter, been a news anchor, been a movie critic for a while, but I've never been an author before. So to actually have it between hard covers, that's a kick. That's a kick.
Barry's work with the American Printing House for the Blind is not a new job. He has recorded fiction and nonfiction books since 1970. Barry's book includes words and video. 10 of his feature stories produced over the years are included in a DVD.